sorry, but my topic will be less interesting. And I want to thank also Lou Balcho that came with me from the consulate, our academic affairs director, and thank Hillel, especially Aaron Kaufman and Kaish Staub for helping organizing this visit. And the main target of visiting Penn State is to strengthen the relations between the consulate in Philadelphia and Penn State, and through that, strengthening and expanding the relations between Israel and Penn State University. I have to tell you that we had a great meeting in the morning with the president and also other great meetings. I will speak a little bit about the last developments in the Middle East, and of course we cannot ignore these developments, and later on I'll speak about some challenges. I'll speak about the developments in the Middle East, how Israel sees these changes in the Middle East, and later on I will speak about some challenges that Israel is facing. And but before that, I want to say that I was born and raised. First, I identify myself as an Druze Arab Israeli, and I'm very proud of that. And I'm always proud to present Israel everywhere. And I was born and raised in Osfia. It's a Druze town in the north of Israel, near Haifa, 15 minutes from Haifa, and served in the IDF. And in 2006, I joined the Foreign Service. As in Israel, you start your diplomatic career in a cadet's diplomatic course. And 1 year later, I was sent to Kathmandu to be the deputy ambassador in Nepal. I served there for 2 years, and later I was sent to Philadelphia. Now the funny thing is that they gave me 3 days in Israel between Kathmandu and Philadelphia. So you can imagine to yourself that we moved from the 17th century to the 21st century in 3 days. It was a big change for us. Now going and speaking about the developments in the Middle East, there's no doubt that the change in the Middle East is major and basic. There is a conflict between the old system and the new system. There are protests that started in Tunisia, Egypt, Libya, Bahrain, and now in Syria, and we think that it will be going on. Israel, as democratic state, support liberal protests and support democracies. We want to see more democracies beside us in the Middle East. But the main thing about these changes is that nobody knows what will be the final result of these changes. And as a state in the Middle East, we are really concerned. Of course, like I said, we want to see democratic states, liberal states. We want to keep the peace agreements that we have with Egypt and Jordan. But the changes also can lead us to different directions, and we are concerned like any other states in the Middle East. Now, of course, for us it's really important our relation or the Israeli-Palestinian issue, but right now we don't see any direct influence of these changes on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The Israeli government, like the Israeli Prime Minister, like the previous 5 Prime Ministers before, support the two-state solution. We support 2 states for 2 nations. And this is why we have been calling, our Prime Minister has been calling the Palestinians to join us have direct talks, and to have a peace process, to put all issues on the table, and to discuss it, and to reach a peace agreement. Unfortunately, the Palestinians has not come yet to the negotiation table. Now, Israel has, I mean, all people say is, okay, why you just don't go out totally from the West Bank and just put the border, put the line between Israel and the West Bank. And the thing is that Israel went through a very unpleasant experience. We did it in Gaza. We evacuated more than 8,000 settlements, and a very painful step, but this is a decision that was taken by the Israeli government. And we went out from Gaza, and we thought that it will be the first step towards reconciliation in the future, towards peace process between Israel and the Palestinians. But what actually happened is that Hamas, a terrorist organization, took over, started to build his military capabilities, started to smuggle weapons supported mainly by Iran into Gaza, and started shooting missiles on Israeli cities. More than 8,000 missiles were shot on Israeli cities for 8 years. This thing brought Israel to respond, and this is a basic thing that any state in the world need or has obligated to give its citizens, to defend ourselves. And this is what we did. This is what we will keep doing in the future. Again, Israel wants a two-state solution, and we want to reach this solution, this agreement, by talks with the Palestinians. Of course, with all these changes in the Middle East, we see that Iran is in recent months becoming more active in our region. Iran is, how may I say, the Iranian regime want to have See you in the next year.